I'm relieved that you seemed well. Rena was really worried, you know. Satoko-chan was happy and said that you got what you deserved. Rika-chan said how unfortunate he's sick. Looks like everyone was making a big deal out of it. Well, you know, so Kei-chan. It's now a bad time to come pay you a visit. It's never a bad time for you to pay me a visit, Mion. A visit? No, it's okay. It's not like I'm dying. My grandma made a ton of mochi, you see. Mochi? I'll say mochi. You see? I was told to share them. So I'll bring you some. Hey now, you'll catch my cold. Not to worry, both Rena and I are too stupid to catch a cold. See ya. Be there in a bit. Damn it, why do you have to bring Rena? Damn it. Come on. Can't you read between the lines, Mion? She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? Good God, I don't want her to be there. That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Mion. What's the worst that could happen? Yay. I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later. God, that's fast, actually. How are you feeling? Did you take your medicine and rest? Yeah, I could use some more rest with you, though. I did just that. Thank goodness, you look well. I was worried. Sorry, I'll be fine by tomorrow. Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions. I thought we might hang out for a bit, but it looks like you're not quite in the condition for it. Oh, I'm always in the condition for it. Keiichi, be smart about this. Do it. Do it. Come on. You don't say. Seeing my face appeared a bit sullen. Then here, Keiichi-kun. These are the mochi. Mochi? Mi-chan's grandma made. Rena held out the package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It's quite hefty. Thanks. Send my regard to your grandma, Mion. Yep. Oh, there's one that I made in there as well. I wonder if Keiichi-kun can guess which one. This is Kei-chan's homework since he missed the club meeting today. There are letters on each mochi. Mochi? I have no mochi. I'll go with mochi. So I'll ask you tomorrow. Good God, damn it, I wish they had pronunciations. Were you checking if I was feeling better, or did you just come here for club activities? Yep, looking fine. Guess you'll be able to make it tomorrow. And what are you going to do if my fever comes back because of your shenanigans? Mi-chan, we shouldn't be making such a racket. Let's go. The other people here will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because the entranceway was a mess. You're right, let's go. Oh, by the way, Kei-chan. Yeah? I don't like this tone shift or those eyes. Please stop it. Don't ruin game, do not ruin Mion for me. Please. Please don't. What did you eat for lunch? The sudden question startled me and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I'd never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. Whatever. But why? Is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane it was almost meaningless. The way she said it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate. I ate out. She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then I'd read too deep into it. So I tried answering as they'd read too deep into it. So I tried answering as quickly as possible. See, all you say is what you ate, you just say what you ate. Because that's all she asked. You don't have to say who you went with. Except contrary to the efforts I made, there was a pause before they replied. So you ate out for lunch, Keiichi-kun? The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at that at some point as well. No, thank you. I don't want any house callers anymore. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew that's how it looked to me. Well, was it good? Why are you asking me this? Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone. Almost as if she knew that I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was. Seems you were with a rather austere-looking older guy. Who was he? Flop. Yep, I would just fall on the ground and die. That's me. The package with the mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale. Oh. Keiichi-kun. Who was he? Could it be the person from before, I wonder? I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything. How do you know that? Took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking. Because there's nothing this old man doesn't know. Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever. So, Kei-chan, what did you talk about? It seems like you got pretty worked up over it, too. We weren't talking about you guys. It didn't have anything to do with you or Rena. Why would you just say that? Why don't you just lie and say it was over? Oh, no. The waitress is there. I get worked up about him. Just something about that. Something. Anything. Isn't it a bit strange to hear our names come up even though nobody asked about that? I told you, Keiichi, you fucking dumbass. The fuck? He doesn't even want to fucking live anymore! What the fuck? Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I feel very violated at this point. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much it felt like it was going to explode. Well, whatever you're trying to hide, this old man already sees through it all. Remember that. I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her eyes break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly. Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good. I think you should lie down. That's true. We should both head back home. As if nothing had happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I hadn't moved a muscle since I had dropped the package of mochi. Fuck me! As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. There's a comma there. All I could do was stare. As if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was about to close, it opened again, slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. A single eye peered in through the narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze peered at me once again. See you, Kei-chan. Yeah. I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow, alright? Okay, thud. The door closed. Okay, I'll be coming to school tomorrow. Yay! Can I not? Oh, they fucking ruined Mion for me. I liked her so much, and now I think she's batshit crazy. Damn it. Damn it, game. I wasn't able to move a muscle, even after their low laughter died off in the distance, and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. Yeah, no shit. Every lock on that door is getting thrown. No one's getting back in this home. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about. Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that that was unnecessary? What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year since year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were trying to warn me against? What kind of nonsense am I thinking about? I hit my own face hard enough that I let out a loud slap. God, nothing like slapping the shit out of yourself. Best feeling in the world. If only that would wake me up from this nightmare. But for some reason it felt like I was punching a blanket, and it was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. When did I become such a pessimist? Oh, when Tomitake-san got murdered. You know, that's probably when all hope died. Monokuma just is around the corner laughing at me right now. Calm down. Calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mion knew I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at that time. They must have told Mion that I was there. That made the most sense. No, it doesn't. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. It's not as if they had ulterior motives. No, they seem perfectly normal. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it seems the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous about when I met with Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. Felt like my mind was mixing up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. You're being a dumbass! Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. No, that's called blood, Keiichi. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. Yeah, nothing like thinking that you'd start bleeding once you squeezed your head a little. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Oh my god. He actually thought he's going insane. He's legitimately going insane. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think that they're a good bunch of people. They just happen to be caught up with a serial murderer case. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of anything, they were really kind to me. Rena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Mion is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. In talking of not getting bored, rambunctious Satoko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with the others. Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They are my friends. But after hearing of the better untold stories of Hinamizawa from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, when I was told about Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious, after that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. And I even shouldn't have heard about the past incidents from Tomitake-san the night of the Watanagashi. And that's what I was fucking saying, but no, you're being a dumbass and decide, you know what's great to hear about on a festival night? About a bunch of murders that happened tonight. I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity. I just hadn't. That's right. That's why they fucked up Tomitake-san. Fucked Tomitake-san? Killed? Why censor killed? What the fuck? So that's why they killed Tomitake-san. That impudent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everyone went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They'll probably kill Oishi-san as well. For trying to unearth whatever everyone was warning me was better left buried. Why? Why censor kill? I'm serious. A bunch of other shit in there. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course, a guy like that is going to be killed. Yeah. Well, Tomitake-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those people should just fall to Oyashiro-sama's curse and just die. Fuck. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. Yeah, no shit. It wasn't their fault. 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 Keiichi, Keiichi, you okay there, buddy? You okay there, buddy? I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling that I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. Yeah, everyone just started chanting it wasn't their fault really fast. I was no longer frightened. Yeah, sure. I'd completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them after all. Oh, that reminds me, I need to eat those mochi. I hope I'm able to tell which one Rena made. I remembered the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our co-op did delivery. That was something else. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper, A, B, C, D, and E. Go with C. Always choose C. Now then, they said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So, well, that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out. Looks like this challenge depends on whether or not this one is Rena's. Calm down and think even harder. Mion had said her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out, if I remembered correctly. So that means 4 of these were from that large batch. And what about Rena? She probably only made 1. So she spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning the one Rena had made was this one. E. No. I don't care. You choose the letter C. Because I want to eat them. I don't give a fuck if I get it wrong. Just write it down and just choose a C. C is always the good answer. For a moment I thought it may be a trap Mion had laid as she knew I'd pick up on it. But that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, but since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap. Alright, my tea is ready too. I'll start with the defending champ Mion's grandma. Let's see. Not bad. The smooth bean paste and soft chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was so delicate, one would think it was a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first a bite. This was quite difficult to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factor would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger with the size you just couldn't get enough of. I'd only had one bite of Rena's. I'd probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. Chew. Seems my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. Didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Judging by the music, I don't want to even know. I don't want to press it. Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. Slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then after sticking for a moment, it slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that had performed such a vile act. Then I remember what I had taken out of my mouth. First I thought it was a hair. Ew! Disgusting. God, I would throw that away. Get the fuck out of here, you hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. What the fuck? Is it like drugs? There's a bit of a metallic sheen on one end of it. Oh, yes, there was a hole for where thread goes through. It was like it was a sewing needle. Oh my god! Don't tell me there's a fucking sewing needle inside of a fucking piece of... Ooh, gee, oh. No, thank you. Now I'm just imagining actually swallowing a sewing needle getting stuck in your throat. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's right. Looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well. Quite sharply. Really did just look like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean by look very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? Couldn't answer. But a voice inside me already knew, and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic and felt a pricking pain in the back. Oh god. In the back of my throat. Oh, time to throw up everywhere. I'm glad the whole thing had a bunch of sewing needles in it. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. Yeah, no shit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth, and after writhing in agony, I somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was intensely throbbing. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splort. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical pattern of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out to the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. Fuck you, I'm not going to school tomorrow! I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning, or reminder. Nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Call Oishi. Tell him they're threatening your life. Tell him, yeah, she just made me a fucking thing with a bunch of sewing needles inside of it. I don't want to die, Mr. Oishi. Or did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion, and the others, they considered me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. Oh, like that bottomless marsh here in the village. Yay. Good God. What's the medicine that makes you commit suicide and threat? New tips. Hard to swallow. Yeah, no fucking shit. You piece of shit. Damn you, game. Let's cut to the chase. Is there a drug that causes someone to kill themselves? Not direct. I don't know. Who's talking? Not directly, no. It's quite a roundabout response. You're saying there's one that does it indirectly? Something that puts you into a suicidal mental state like that. That's hard to say. What would a suicidal mental state be? Like a person with a serious bipolar disorder. It's believed that people are most likely to attempt suicide when swinging from depression to mania. Mania. Fuck, I don't remember. But yeah, that's actually true. I know for a fact that's true. Thank God for old psychology classes. Yes, that is true. Because before in depression, it makes you like unable to do anything with the bipolar. But mania. He's manic, so mania. Whatever. When you're extremely manic, you can do almost anything. So when you still have feelings of depression and you sense of you have to do something, that's when a lot of people decide to kill themselves. Because they finally have that strength to do it. Though, of course, I strongly recommend getting help because it's never worth killing yourself. It never is. Don't do it. Please never do. Clinical depression and bipolar disorder are different. Clinical depression indicates a prolonged state of depression, whereas bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressive state compared to a very active manic state. Individuals with clinical depression suffer from low self-esteem and are quite pessimistic, but rarely commit suicide. They do not have the willpower to commit suicide. Nor does mania on its own lead to suicide. That is an opposite effect, filling the person with confidence and making them feel as though they're walking on air. Thus, they do not commit suicide. That's interesting. Neither state causes suicide, but when the conditions changes, they might do so. There is a desire to commit suicide when in a state of depression, but they do not have the willpower to commit such a formidable act. But when they have the willpower and feel like they can do anything, they do. They feel like they can. But when they enter mania, they gain a burst of willpower and their body moves as they desire. I see. So it means they gain the willpower to commit suicide. That's how it goes. That's why patients are giving sedatives during that time to keep them from acting on their impulses. Then was Tomitake bipolar? People who suffer from bipolar disorder generally commit suicide by more civilized means. Yeah, they don't claw their throat out. You know, they'll take the pills, like OD on that, gunshot, that kind of thing. Like, say, hanging or jumping off a building. Self-harm is going through withdrawal is something completely different. Tomitake's death wasn't civilized. So one would think it was caused by some foreign substance. As I said from the start, tell me of a drug that causes someone to commit suicide. There are reports that methamphetamine overdoses produce a condition that resembles bipolar disorder. The stimulant. Barbiturate overdoses are also reported to cause erratic behavior. Whatever. That's a sleep aid. There were no signs of stimulants. Are there any other possibilities? All I can think of is that it's some sort of illness, something like Graves' disease, which affects the thyroid and is known to cause symptoms that resemble bipolar disorder. But it's really easy to tell if someone has Graves' disease, so I doubt it's that one. But Graves' disease has many characteristic symptoms on its own. The deceased exhibit none of them. I wonder, is there anything that could happen more spontaneously? Something that fits this case and would cause someone to want to commit suicide all of a sudden. Are you familiar with organic mental disorders? In short, it's a condition where the brain is out of whack due to physical injury or illness. It can be caused by drugs, but it can also be caused by physical trauma, encephalitis, or a stroke, or even tumors. Basically, even without a drug, one can succumb to an irregular mental state. The deceased was surrounded after being chased, and his life was in danger, right? All that stress could have messed with his brain and brain chemistry. He could have hit his head, and those factors combined might have caused him to mutilate himself. It's a possibility. Could you explain it to me in simpler terms? Basically, he knocked his noggin in the brawl, and that made him go haywire. Then this lady didn't have any intent to kill. Just smacked him in a bad place when he necked some change. The two plump men laughed hoarsely. But of course it's not like that. Undoubtedly. If it was habitual drug use, if it was something mental, the deceased body holds the key. How are things on your end? Oh my goodness, look at the time. I need to get back to Kuma-chan, or Kuma-chan will get angry with me. Yeah, good luck. Best wishes. Best wishes. I'd still tell Oishi, though, that they threatened me. Those guys just now. They had national diet badges. Then it's prefectural assembly members and city councilor Sonozaki. That's interesting. The prefectural assembly member and city councilor are related. It's dirty is what it is. Shouting out each other's name during elections. While one is up for election, the other holds an assembly and they double up their campaign activities. Blatantly. I don't know how much about this stuff, but isn't that against the rules of the election? As long as they have no prior consultation, there are no restrictions on their political activities. Kuma-chan, the investigation division is going to be pretty tough for you. You should at least brush up on election policies. I'm not suited for the intelligence division. 'Cause I'm dumb, There's prefectural assembly member Sonozaki and city councilor Sonozaki. Also the mayor of Hinamizawa. All of them involved with the Sonozaki family. What crap. Looks like they were seen off by the department chief and the deputy chief. It came to me. That night when the chief invited me along to get some Odin, I thought that was it. You have a lot of connections, so you might have heard something. Did you? Nope. Not a thing. Ma'am, I'll take a tofu fritter and fish cake. The counselor barked at me in the police chief's stead. Oh my, is that so? Ma'am, I'll take another bowl. Prefecture Assembly member Sonozaki and City Councilor Sonozaki were both intimidating. Okay, so they're related to Mion, but I don't think any of them are Mion. Our snot-nosed career police chief couldn't even handle being yelled at by them. They're like Yakuza. A petition with your name came up regarding how the investigation of the Hinamizawa incident is being handled. Goodness me. I've not the faintest. No need to play dumb. You're reopening the past cases regarding Hinamizawa, aren't you? I've already got my hands full with Tometake's death, actually. Really? If that's true, then there's no problem. There's a period of silence. While we were silent, we made a headway on our food and drink. That was quite the feast. This month has been a bunch of losses for me, so my wallet was feeling the pinch. Much appreciated. No, it's nothing. Tell me a good horse again. I'll bet on the same one as you. Nah, I haven't been doing well there lately. I haven't been able to read the horses at all. Taxi! I'm going by train. The police chief is taking a taxi. I have my own car, but it would be rash to drive it home. Can't blow it right before retirement with the DUI. Even though he could still rattle off, it looked like his legs were already goo. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the police chief's address. Well, I'll see you again tomorrow. Happy New Year. Oishi-san. Yeah. The past incidences have all been closed. Stop lumping them all together. Those villagers half believe it really is a curse. Well, I'm not convinced. You're going to be retired next year, aren't you? Weren't you going to pay off your mortgage with your pension and move up to Hokkaido with your mom? Mother pines to return to the land of her birth. It's the least I can do. And the pension will... it'll let me enjoy myself in Susukino. The police chief may issue a special retirement salary raise, he says. A public servant's pension is calculated based on their monthly salary. So if you were to get a raise right before retirement, your bonus, to your salary, would be inflated. And you get a heavy surplus of funds. That tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not a custom that's thought of highly. The difference between the bonus and the pension is quite a bit. I'd expect nothing less than exemplary from our egghead chief. Oh, good God, chief. But well, they say our salary is compensatory for our hard work, but in the end it really just has to do with the passage of time. That's not something I can laugh at, but I'll laugh through it anyway. I don't think it's anything exemplary, but given how hard you've worked, it's not odd that you're getting that much of a pension. I'd like to get that much myself. If I can get it, well, of course I'd want it. You'll get it. You're an adult after all. Sorry for holding you up here, driver. Thank you very much. I closed the door roughly, interrupting the chief's conversation a bit rudely. It looked like the chief still had something to say. He just returned the smile. He just smiled dryly and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped up gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. Oh man. Wonder if I can really repay this loan. So basically the police chief saying, hey, if you want a good pension, you're gonna have to, drop the case or we're just gonna slash your wage. And say, fuck you, old man. Which that's really fucked up. Really fucked up.